The Connection Checker application is designed to help verify whether the intended brand associations resulting from your Inspiration Explorer analysis are realistic from a budgetary point of view. Connection Checker reveals to what extent your brand assets are currently already thought of in the same context as your intended association. Select the brand asset you want to evaluate by clicking on the Add Your Asset button on the right. You can select more than one asset if you would like to compare your brand asset against a competitor brand or benchmark asset. You can choose to load a traditional marketing framework if you would like to compare the mental connections with different, standardized motives at the same time. Keep in mind that the score of these motives is only indicating to what extent your brand asset is thought of in the same context of the particular intended association entered. The score is not indicating to what extent there is a functional or objective equivalence between the two. After adding your brand assets and selecting the keyword framework of interest, click the Generate button to process your request. Scores above 2.5 on the scale of 10 indicate there's a meaningful connection between your brand asset and the intended association. The closer the score to 10, the more often your brand asset is thought of in the same context as the intended association. If your brand asset has a weak connection with your intended association, this indicates your brand is not being perceived the way you had intended. Differences in scores in excess of 0.2 on this scale represent a statistically meaningful difference in mental connection, or, again, the extent to which people think of the two different brand assets in the same context of your intended association. Consider the intended associations where you already have a natural advantage compared to your competitors. These represent valuable strategic reference themes for developing or refining your brand story and related brand positioning. You'll note that the strongest scoring associations represent interesting themes insofar that these will require less campaign budget to associate with your brand on the subconscious level, which is driving your customers' consideration set.